A 70-year-old man fell in love with his 46-year-old godson, and the father and son usually call each other husband and wife. What kind of outrageous plot is this? What is going on? Back to May 2017. The location is Sichuan, China. Mr. Lin, who is over 70 years old, has been retired for several years. Because he and his wife invested in a hotel before retirement, his annual pension is more than $20,000. It can be considered a wealthy life. But life after retirement also makes Mr. Lin feel bored. Until one day in May 2017, Uncle Lin, who was playing with his mobile phone, suddenly received a friend request from a person named Never Look Back. Through chatting, Uncle Lin learned that this netizen was called Liu Yuan, a 34-year-old widow who lived with her mother and daughter. Now, she was a clothing salesperson. Not only that, Widow Liu also sent Uncle Lin several artistic photos. Widow Liu's hot body in the photos attracted Uncle Lin's attention, so he invited her to live in Sichuan. Widow Liu readily agreed to Uncle Lin's invitation, and said that if the two were suitable, she could fall in love with him. This was the second spring of life, which made Uncle Lin very excited. At this time, Widow Liu said that she had no travel expenses, so Uncle Lin transferred 2,000 yuan for travel expenses. Just when Uncle was anxiously waiting, Widow Liu said that her mother was sick and could not come. Uncle could only continue to communicate with Widow Liu online. At this time, the two had already called each other husband and wife, looking at the beauties in the online photos, and then looking at his wife who had lived with him for 40 years. He felt that his life had meaning at that moment. After that, Widow Liu frequently asked Uncle Lin for money. Uncle Lin paid for everything from her mother's hospitalization to the cost of home appliances. Uncle Lin transferred more than 100,000 yuans to Widow Liu in just 1 year of knowing each other. But every time Uncle Lin wanted to video chat with his girlfriend, Liu said that he couldn't open the video on his phone. After several times, Uncle Lin also doubted the authenticity of his girlfriend. So he thought of finding someone to investigate his girlfriend's identity. Because it was an extramarital affair, he was afraid that his wife would know about it. He found his godson Zhou Quanting to investigate secretly. A few days later, his godson brought in reply, the widow Liu was real, and she was an orphan and a widow. Under the news, Uncle Lin felt relieved and transferred another 130,000 yuans to his girlfriend. But the truth could not be hidden, and Lin's wife still knew about it. At this time, Uncle Lin had already spent more than 500,000 yuans on Widow Liu. Under the coercion of his wife, Uncle Lin chose to return the money given to him. But at this time, he found that Widow Liu did not answer the phone, did not reply to the message, and directly disappeared. Under panic, Uncle Lin chose to call the police. The police retrieved the transaction flow and quickly found out the identity of the other party. However, something unexpected happened. The recipient turned out to be his godson Zhou Quanting. The police immediately interrogated Zhou Gang. In the detention center, Zhou Quanting readily admitted that he pretended to be a beautiful woman to defraud his godfather. That is to say, Uncle Lin and his godson had been in an online relationship for 2 years. In the end, Zhou Quanting was sentenced to 6 years in prison, and this farce came to an end.